Welcome to my channel Anime Land, a channel specializing in analyzing characters in the One Piece movie series. The ending of One Piece leaked out. There is an account on Reddit named GHOD Roger who wrote the ending of One Piece, shocking the community. It is thought that this theory is so reasonable that it creates a war between One Piece spoiler boss and author Oda. Specifically, this spoiler boss wrote a scenario with 4 main information as follows. The first is Luffy's time traveling to the past, the second is Joyboy and Imu as brothers, the third is the One Piece battle that begins in the universe, and the fourth is the devil fruit created from Haki. So what is the truth of this story? Is this information reliable or not? Today let's find out this story together. First, to confirm with you that this Reddit account named GHOD Roger is not a family member or a co-author of Oda, because what this person wrote about the ending of One Piece was also confirmed by that person. Hypothetical written and not responsible for the future ending of One Piece. However, what this person wrote sounds ridiculous, but it is extremely convincing, leading many people to believe that this is the true ending of One Piece. So what's going to happen in that story? The basis to say this is based entirely on the fact that the time travel devil fruit is real. If Toki owns a devil fruit that can send people to the future, there is definitely another possibility that will bring people to the future. Humans fly to the past, right? Accordingly, there is the theory that Luffy with Gear 5 awakens. He uses his imagination to gain the power to control the fabric of space and time. Another point is that Luffy's inherent strength is to stretch or solidify attributes such as plasticizing soil or solidifying thunder to turn it into a weapon, so if he reaches a certain realm, he has the ability to will also reach unreal things like spacetime. That kind of stretching or rewinding spacetime, but going back 900 years would be too far away, so as GHOD Roger explains, being able to go back in the past would require a combination of the abilities of the Earth demons from different users to create a new kind of power. That way we can go back in time 900 years ago. These devil fruits include Bonnie's fruit with the ability to rejuvenate or age people. Next is Kuma's Nikyu Nikyu no Mi devil fruit, which will later be owned by Frankie, allowing the user to turn invisible things into visible things. And finally the devil fruit Nika. Accordingly, Frankie used the ability from the Nikyu Nikyu no Mi to turn things like spacetime from Bonnie's devil fruit into tangible things. Accordingly, Luffy uses Gear 5 to open the visible portal of spacetime with his imagination and travel to the past. Specifically, Luffy went back 900 years ago, 9 months from now. This was the time before the war between the 20 countries alliance and the ancient nation had not happened yet. Before the promise of mermaid princesses and Joy Boy. Whereby the ancient kingdom was an extremely large country. Its continent spanned nearly half of the world, including the present islands of Elbaf, Wano, and the island of Road Star that were not part of the kingdom, ancient, but a place that anyone must pass if they want to reach the capital. And of course, as Vegapunk said, this is the period when technology develops extremely well with the freedom of all people and races. While wandering in the empty century, Luffy accidentally met Dearest. For those of you who don't know, according to GHOD Roger, that's Joy Boy's real name. He was only 18 years old at the time and was running in the flower garden trying to catch a rare butterfly. The flower garden room full of butterflies that Im-sama appeared in chapter 908. Both Luffy and Dearest have quite similar appearance, except that Dearest has a very large scar on his left eye. In contrast to Luffy, then Dearest was just a naughty, childish prince. Then his brother Im-sama was already a wise, mature crown prince who would succeed as king of the ancient kingdom. The moment Im-sama met Luffy and his brother, he felt that they both had a very similar heartbeat. The reason stems from the fact that they both share the same devil fruit, Nika Nika no Mi. Accordingly, it is different from the brotherly relationship between Ace, Luffy, or Sabo with Luffy. Between Dearest and Im-sama to exist a jealousy, especially Im-sama. He is always jealous of his brother. While Dearest is cheerful like a child and cares about nothing but human pleasures. But somehow the king decided to make the young prince Dirus heir to the throne. This decision made Im-sama angry. He secretly planned to create a coup in the dark to take the throne gold from brother. Then he secretly enlisted the help of 20 other countries to form the alliance. However, before the Great War between the Ancient Kingdom and the alliance of 20 nations broke out, Luffy was dragged back to the future, and the last word he said to Dirus was "I'm sorry." Luffy seems to have been limited to the past due to Bonnie's devil fruit. This limitation was shown in chapter 1072, specifically Bonnie's ability to only do things temporarily regress or degenerate for a certain amount of time, after which everything will return to the way it was. On the other hand, Luffy's time travel has had an impact on the course of history, as described by GHOD Roger. When Luffy flew to the past, he disguised himself with a helmet, though this hat was created by Vegapunk to help Luffy avoid being recognized by others. But even with that helmet, he still couldn't take the straw hat off, but instead put the helmet on top of the straw hat. And when he returned to the future, Luffy accidentally dropped his helmet before he disappeared. Im-sama of course couldn't see his face clearly, but he did see the straw hat. That's why he came at the moment. He always has an obsession with the straw hat, because it has been passed down from generation to generation, and those who wear it are all famous characters like Pirate King Roger, Yonko Shank, and now Yonko Luffy. At first Im-sama thought Roger was the one talking to Dirus, then turned to ask Shank and now Luffy. Later Dirus himself also owns a straw hat that is the hat we see at Mary Geo's shrine. However, it is not only Luffy that has affected the current world, but the change in terrain also creates injustice for the continents around the world. As I mentioned above, Ancient Kingdom is a vast supercontinent interconnected with different islands always having some kind of unknown adjective, causing any normal compass to rotate like a pinwheel that can't be located. In which the island of Rhodes Star has the highest degree of magnetism. The reason for this is because the Rhodes Star from 900 years ago does not belong to the Earth, but it also originates from the universe. Rather, it is a celestial body with a much different composition than the islands in One Piece. It collided with the Earth and formed an island. From this collision caused the flow of water from the Rhodes Star to bring some magnetism to the nearest supercontinent, which is the Ancient Kingdom. Causing some places contacts on the Ancient Kingdom received very high magnetism and some remaining places received very low magnetism. In other words, Rhodes Star is a magnetic anchor point, so can't use normal compass, even log pose can't give directions. Besides, the Rhodes Star isn't the only thing sent from space, which from a long time ago needed the civilization of the Ancient Kingdom that existed other civilizations in the universe, namely the civilization on the moon. They came down to Earth to live then to many descendants of different races such as Shandians, Burkans, Scypians. They descended on the blue planet aboard a ship called the Uranus, a ship armed with weapons of mass destruction using electricity as its main source of energy. This use of electricity as a source of power was demonstrated when Enel used his devil fruit powers to power machines on the moon. According to GHOD Roger, the Mink and the Lunaria clans also joined the tribes I mentioned above to ride the ship Uranus down to the blue planet. Unlike the heavenly Shandians or Lunaria tribes, the Minks did not inhabit the islands. Instead they brought an elephant boy named Zunisha. They raised that baby elephant until it was big enough and they lived on its back for centuries. In that day, they learned that people at this time were too backward, had to live in hunger and cold, lived in a harsh school that caused epidemics, so the aliens taught people how to eat well, boil with other applied technology knowledge and farming. As well as the ability to develop technology, it was the aliens who gave humans a seed, which later grew into the tree of Adam and Eva. Over 1,000 years of humans see these trees as gods, and also from here a variety of special fruits are born. It receives the desires and dreams from people's prayers to produce 4 fruits that bring supernatural abilities to humans. They are devil fruits. This is the first stage of Haki. The will of man is expressed through Haki. Throughout 1,000 years old trees are also cultivated by humans from alien seeds. It absorbs Haki that contains the will and wishes humans to make their dreams come true eventually produced a devil fruit, and what happened at the same time the stump of Adam or Eve was buried deep in the sea. This proves that compared to the present sea level has risen a lot, and this is also the reason why anyone who eats devil fruit cannot swim. Specifically, it is related to an ancient kind of longing that is the desire to return to the original land. Back to the main point, the 4 devil fruits that I talked about are considered 4 devil fruits of God, each representing a nature. The first is creation, the second is nourishment, the third is the ability to sustain, and the fourth is life. The first to use these 4 fruits are considered to be the respective gods, including the god of the earth, the god of the forest, the god of the rain, and the god of the sun. These ancient gods are still worshipped to this day, and as time goes on people's lives improve, their dreams and desires increase, resulting in a greed for society. The decadent society created the Great Depression. And a devil fruit that has the power to take away everything named Yami Yami no Mi is born. It holds the power of many devil fruits in the world. In order to fight Yami, the 4 devil fruits have joined together with Yamato's Ikochi no Nakami fruit. The clash between the two sides created a great war, but it was not a great war 900 years ago. This fruit battle happened in the era before the empty century, before the ancient nation. And the result of that battle was the victory of the Alliance, who later described the battle as the 4 gods defeated the ultimate evil. From that war, Yami Yami and countless other devil fruits were scattered all over the world. A few hundred years later the ancient nation was born, and we come to the story of the boy Dearest. After Luffy returned, now Im-sama comes to steal Uranus from the ancient kingdom and start a coup with 20 countries. At that time there was a royal family standing up to support Im and make him king. That is none other than Shank's ancestral family, which also explains why the 5 elders have so much respect for red hair, even though he is a Yonko. Back to the point, with a large force from 20 countries, they view the heads of government as gods, and Im-sama also took advantage of that to make spacesuits with helmet's head, symbol for the gods. This idea was taken by him from the helmet that Luffy was wearing. When in time travel, with Luffy's disappearance, he assumed that he was a god, so he wanted himself to be the leader. His forces are the gods, so do the same. Now Zunisha acts as the guardian of the ancient kingdom, the owner of Zunisha of the Kazuki family. Im-sama planned to trick Zunisha through the devil fruit that made the elephant unable to protect Wano's shogun. For that reason he was banished and received a punishment of wandering across the seas until when the king returned and ordered to stop. Not only that, but Im-sama also used Uranus on the ancient kingdom 900 years ago, forcing the continent to split into different pieces. On the other hand, because the use of Uranus has caused the ice layer that acts as a dam containing a huge amount of fresh water to be destroyed. It caused the water level to rise sharply, causing a great flood, and parts of the ancient kingdom were split into individual islands, some drifting in different directions, others sinking. The bombardment of Uranus weapons caused a volcano on the ocean floor to erupt right at the center of the earth, resulting in an ice age with temperatures so low that lava rocks floated. From a frozen volcanic eruption, it created the red rocks at Reverse Mountain. The use of Uranus and the ancient kingdom even impaired the orbit of the entire blue planet is shifted. This led to the reverse flow of water at Reverse Mountain for decades, and the stillness belt was formed here. The icebergs were broken and the Great Flood caused containers to shoot from the ground into the sky, covering most of the light, leaving the world in darkness for 100 years. During this time Poseidon, also known as Agashur, appeared from Fishman Island. She used the giant ship Noah to get the relics of the ancient kingdom to the mermaid. One of the relics, it was a poneglyph containing an apology to the mermaid princess for not being able to fulfill that specific promise, is to destroy the red line to bring the sea level back to its original state so that sunlight can reach the mermaid kingdom. Joyboy also sent a letter with relic to the mermaid princess with the content that after 900 years, a character will appear and fulfill that promise. The person he mentioned is the reincarnation of Joyboy, Monkey D. Luffy. Although from now on it is unknown what happened to Dearest, and how he succumbed to Imsama. But what we do know at the time was that there were rumors that Joyboy would return for the story that spread around the world. In addition, Wano also closed the border to protect the ancient weapon Plutons from Imsama. The world government was then established and built the Holy Mary Geos right above at Red Line. Around this time, the surgery to immortalize the Op Nomi fruit was performed to help Imsama possess an ageless body over time. Not only that, but many of Joyboy's allies were also hunted down. These people are said to have a D in their name, and Go means Dearest. Below is my opinion on the topic. Luffy traveled through time to meet Joyboy in the past. In the video there may be some mistakes, or inappropriate comments. You can leave your comments in the comments section below. If you find it interesting, remember to leave a like and a share to support us.